Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel. So yeah, in this video I'm going to be talking about my top 10 favourite movies from the year 1977. So yeah, these are just my top 10 personal favourite movies from this year. There's no right or wrong to this, they're just my personal favourite choices. Your list is going to be completely different to mine, and so it should be. But yeah, that being said, these are all in accordance again with IMDb. They've all got 1977 against their name. And yeah, I'm going to leave all my honourable mentions down below, which didn't make the cut, sadly. Another good year, though. Some great films in this year. So yeah, that being said, I'm going to kick it off with number 10. So coming in at number 10, guys, we've got Richard Attenborough's A Bridge Too Far. Yeah, just an absolute war epic, this one. This movie has an absolute stellar cast. It's just absolutely stacked to the brim with talent. Robert Redford, Gene Hackman, to name but a few. Yeah, this is just a brilliant war film with some absolutely spectacular set pieces and brilliant effects in it. It's just a brilliant war movie. Not one of my favourites, but I think from 77, this is one that I really do enjoy. There's another war movie which came out this year which takes the number 9 spot. But yeah, for me, A Bridge Too Far comes in at number 10. I just really enjoy this one for what it is. So yeah, that is my number 10 pick, A Bridge Too Far. So coming in at number 9, we have a movie by Paul Verhoeven, and that is Soldier of Orange, starring Rutger Hauer. Yeah, this is a really cool, underrated Paul Verhoeven movie. It's nowhere near as explicit as Basic Instinct or RoboCop or Total Recall, but this is one of his that goes under the radar along with Turkish Delight. So this movie pretty much follows the Netherlands during the Second World War and what their involvement in the war was. Like I said, the cast is led by Rutger Hauer. It's just a brilliant war movie. Some great sequences in this, particularly when the two guys are on the motorbikes. It's just a really cool movie that doesn't really get talked about all that much. But yeah, this one's definitely worth checking out by the cast and the director alone. So yeah, coming in at number 9, we've got Soldier of Orange. So coming in at number 8, we've got Wes Craven's The Hills Have Eyes. Not a movie I enjoyed the first time I watched it. I actually saw the remake first, and I still actually do prefer the remake over this one. But there's something about it on rewatch that really grew on me. I really enjoy the second half of this film. I don't know what it is, but something about the main family in this movie fighting back is just really uplifting to see. I can't really explain it. The movie is basically this family go on this trip and they end up having to stop, and they just stop in the wrong place and all hell breaks loose when they realise that they're being hunted pretty much by a group of mutants in the mountains, and it's just really leads to some harrowing stuff. But I understand this movie may not be for everyone. I think the execution really puts people off. But it's one I really enjoy, and just the second half of the movie I just think is brilliant and I really love it. So yeah, that is my number 8 pick, Wes Craven's The Hills Have Eyes. So coming in at number 7, we've got David Lynch's Eraserhead. Yeah, again, this is another movie that's a required taste, but I really like this movie and I can't explain why I like it, and that's probably the reason why I like it is because I can't really explain what the hell's going on in this film. This movie is such a fever dream, and it is just really out there with its imagery. There isn't really anything you can compare David Lynch's work to. It's just so abstract and so bizarre, and like I said, really fever dream-esque. All this stuff in this movie that goes on in this film is just unexplainable. You can't really put it into words or form some sort of sentence to describe this film. It is just absolutely batshit crazy. All the stuff as well with the baby in this is just absolutely fucking horrific. All that stuff that goes on, it is just absolutely harrowing. And I love the movie for it. It just takes that next step in bringing us some bizarre and weird shit. And yeah, I just have fun with this film. So yeah, that's my next pick. David Lynch's Eraserhead. So coming up at number 6, we've got something a little bit more grounded, and it is Richard Dreyfuss in The Goodbye Girl. Yeah, this is just a really, really fun comedic drama I really enjoy. Richard Dreyfuss, 77 was definitely his year. He's going to be popping up in another movie later on. But this is the movie that actually won him Best Actor at the Oscars as well. Coming fresh off of Jaws as well. And then, 2 years later winning the Academy Award. It's just brilliant. And it's quite funny because in this movie he plays a struggling theatre actor. And he actually jokes in the movie about winning an Oscar. And he actually won the Oscar for this movie. So that's a nice little tidbit. And yeah, he just has great chemistry with the female lead in this movie as well. They just sort of end up having to live together, and it's just a really, really fun movie, and I just really, really enjoy it. It's heartwarming, but yeah, The Goodbye Girl is a great watch. So yeah, that is my number 6 pick, The Goodbye Girl. So coming up next at number 5, we have Dario Argento's Suspiria. Possibly tied with Deep Red for me for my favourite Argento movie. I just really, really enjoy this one. This sort of follows this girl who goes to this ballet school, but it's a front for a covenant of witches. And yeah, it's just really, really full of colourful imagery, this film. And it's just got some brilliant music in it as well by Goblin. And yeah, I find the big reveal in this movie so creepy and so terrifying. Even seeing images of it before I actually watched the film in full, it just scared the living shit out of me. When that door opens, and if you've seen the film, you know what I'm on about. It's just absolutely terrifying. But like I said, the combination of the way the movie looks, the colour, the music, the acting, it all works so well for me. And I know it's not everyone's favourite Dario Argento movie, but for me, I just really, really enjoy it for what it is. So yeah, that is number 5, Suspiria. So coming in 4th place, we have the movie that actually won Best Picture this year, and it is Woody Allen's Annie Hall. Yeah, another fun, grounded movie I just really, really enjoy. I'd heard really, some really positive things about this film before I actually sat down and watched it, and I think I watched this in Manhattan on the same day for the first time, and I was just really, really impressed with the film. Really enjoyed the execution with it. The techniques in it were just really brilliant. And I really like the chemistry between Woody Allen and Diane Keaton. And I know they would go on to do several films together as well. But yeah, this just sort of tells the story of this guy that Woody Allen plays called Alvy and his relationship and the time he spends with Annie Hall, played by Diane Keaton. And that's pretty much the movie. There's just, like I said, some great film techniques used in it, which I hadn't seen before. And yeah, I just really, really enjoyed the New York backdrop setting of this movie. It's just a really, really delightful treat. So yeah, that is my number 4 pick, Annie Hall. So coming up next at number 3 is the second time Richard Dreyfuss is appearing on this list. And yeah, it is Steven Spielberg's Close Encounters of the Third Kind. Fantastic sci-fi movie. It's just absolutely brilliant, this one. Not what I enjoyed the first time I watched it. It did take a couple of watches for it to grow on me and really appreciate this one, but God, I love how this movie looks. It's just absolutely stunning. All the stuff as well when Richard Dreyfuss in this movie kind of starts to lose his mind and he uses the mashed potato to make the little model. It's absolutely brilliant, and the end sequence is great. The 5 beats they use to communicate with the aliens is fantastic. And yeah, it's just a really, really done, well executed movie. And the movie just looks brilliant as well. So colourful, so vibrant. Great score, great soundtrack. And yeah, just a brilliant, brilliant story to this one. So yeah, that is my number 3 pick, Close Encounters of the Third Kind. So coming in at number 2 for me is a movie I don't think... Well, I think there are better movies on this list, But for me, this is just my personal favourite number 2. I used to rewatch this one so much as a kid, and I just really enjoyed it. And it is Roger Moore's third outing as James Bond in The Spy Who Loved Me. Yeah, I just really, really enjoy this one. I think it's probably the best of the Moore era, the best well-executed one. Not necessarily my favourite out of his 7 movies, but I think it's definitely the best made movie from his era. And I just love the whole aqua setting to this one, the underwater vibe to it. It introduced us to the villain Jaws as well, his first appearance, played by Richard Kiel. And you've got Strongbow, who's just a great villain in this movie. Although the plot may be a little bit thin, I just enjoy him because I think he's got such a great commanding voice. But Roger Moore's great in the role as well. Barbara Bach as Triple X as well is great as the Bond girl, but there's a bit more going on there, which I won't spoil, but it kind of leads to this great dynamic between the two agents. They're kind of going head to head in this movie, but yeah, I really, really enjoy this one, and it was just a favourite of mine growing up. So yeah, that is my number 2 pick, The Spy Who Loved Me. So that leads us to the top spot. Coming in at number 1, there was no other movie that could take this place, in my opinion. It's probably my favourite movie from the 70s period, from that entire decade, and it is George Lucas's Star Wars. I cannot count the amount of times I've watched this film and the trilogy. I just absolutely love it. The premise of the story is great. I love the characters. I love the look of the movie. I love John Williams' score. I can't really say anything else about this movie that hasn't already been said. It is Star Wars. Darth Vader, one of the most memorable villains ever. The trifecta of Princess Leia, Luke Skywalker, and Han Solo is just iconic. And yeah, it's just a brilliant movie. My favourite movie from the 70s. It's a staple for me. It's a staple movie, and one of the most important movies made, I think, from a story aspect and a technical aspect. It's just a phenomenal film. I can't say anything or bring anything new to the table about Star Wars. Everything has already been said. It's my favourite movie from 77, so yeah, that is my number 1 pick, Star Wars. So yeah, those are my top 10 favourite movies from the year 1977, guys. Gonna leave the video there and say thanks very much for watching. Hope you've enjoyed it, and I will see you in the next one. Bye for now.